Good day. Today we will talk about food safety and quality. As I represent the National Research Nuclear University in Russia, I will talk, of course, about how radiation and nuclear technologies can help us in resolving our problems with food safety. Food safety is important for all countries and all people around the world. And mostly, which problems can we meet on this way? First of all, this is health of people, because if our food is of not very good quality, it could be stored too long and could be spoiled because of this by different bacteria or contaminated with parasites. Of course, it can lead to foodborne disease. Then, very important also to provide food security from the viewpoint of prolonging shelf life of products of different type. As you know, we have a problem of hunger in our world. And it can take sometimes very long time to deliver our products to necessary regions. And again, our food could be spoiled. And actually, we have huge losses of food products in the world, which, of course, is not very good for providing food security. And finally, there is a question of biological security of products also, because in frames of international trades, we today transport foods to different regions and different continents. And if our food, especially vegetative products, fruits and vegetables, are contaminated with parasites or some pests, they can be spread in new territories, which can lead to invasion. Among many applications of radiation technologies in the field of food security, I will talk today about just 4 areas, just because of limited time of our lesson. So you see, I will discuss food irradiation, sprouting delay with help of radiation, pest control also with radiation treatment, and verification of food origin. So let me start from the first, food irradiation. This term could be maybe a bit scary for some people who never heard about it. But really, this is a very good technology, and among all radiation technologies in food and agriculture industry, this is the best promoted today, and is used in many, many countries for many food products. Well, we understand that our enemy in this case are microorganisms, parasites, different pathogens, and so on. You can think maybe that this is very, very new technology and could be surprised, because actually ideas of food irradiation was invented in very first years after the discovery of ionizing radiations. You see on this slide, for example, these first steps, first years of history of food irradiation. The same year when Konrad Röntgen discovered the X-rays, there was the first idea of food irradiation. A bit later, in 10 years, the first patent appeared already, and a bit later, it became clear that radiation technology can be used for preservation of food. And in the middle of last century, food irradiation was already implemented on commercial basis. In this slide, I mention only first application of this type, but later, especially after 70s, these applications became very wide in the world. Interesting that this first application for spices decontamination appeared also very important in all countries, in all situations. Why spices? And you see not only spices today, but many other powder-like products, I would say, are effectively treated with ionizing radiation against microbes and other contaminants. Actually, these types of products, spices and so on, are produced in tropical regions mostly, where we have a lot of microorganisms, bacteria, and so on. And when we harvest them, we also keep these contaminants in our food. You can think maybe that we apply just very small amounts of spices in our life. but very often we keep them for years and years, and during this period, microorganisms can propagate very intensively. Some of them are very tolerant to heat, and our cooking with high temperatures don't kill these microorganisms. Alternative treatment for radiation treatments are always chemicals. And you can easily understand that application of chemicals to these products are not desirable because rests of chemicals will stay in these products and they can spoil taste and smell of spices or anyway can be harmful for consumption. Another very large and important group of products which is typically treated with radiation are meat, poultry, seafood, and so on. It is clear that really this group of products is important in our everyday life. And of course, we also understand that bacteria can spoil this food if it's stored in non-proper conditions or stored too long. But actually, radiation treatment is a fantastic tool in this case because we can apply radiation treatment after already packing of these food products. If you provide vacuum packing and after it you irradiate products with radiation, you will kill all bacteria inside of this package and prevent this way any secondary contamination and propagation of microorganisms. This is really fantastic, I think. Just one example. Imagine you have some piece of meat stored at room temperature, just at your kitchen. Next day, of course, you will have to throw out this piece of meat. But if previously it was treated with radiation, then at your kitchen, at room temperature, it can be stored up to 7-10 days without any changes in safety and taste of this meat. Of course, this is very beneficial for commercial applications, for business, and for just ordinary customers. Very good also that we can irradiate not only raw meat or fresh seafood, but we can also apply this technology to pre-packed food, to semi-ready food. And this way we will increase shelf life of these products for a very long time. And especially surprising maybe that we can apply it even to the frozen food, as even the largest doses of radiation used for these applications can increase temperature of food only maybe at 2 degrees of centigrade. If this is deeply frozen to -25, then it will not change essentially this food, but it is already cleaned of microorganisms. Also, there are a lot of other fields where we can apply radiation treatment to improve quality of food. For example, we all love pets, yeah, and of course we can improve their feed also. But for our food security, maybe it is even more important to provide security of forage for breeded animals, for farmed animals like cattle, chicken, and so on. Of course, this feed could be also contaminated by parasites and bacteria, and as a result, we will have losses of animal products and losses in the quality of these animal products. And also very large market today are occupied by sterilization of packaging material for foods. And many industrial enterprises have now so-called online devices for sterilization of packaging. They are like wardrobes, small devices just installed in line on conveyor. According to the international agreements, irradiated food must be marked by special label. The developed symbol for is on this slide, and it is called Radura. Well, there is a requirement to provide information about the fact that food was irradiated. It could be done with the help of this symbol, and obligatory information must be provided in accompanying documents. A few words about sources of radiation and facilities used for application of this technology. Today, three types of radiations are allowed for application for food radiation. On the left, you see these are gamma installations. In gamma installations, we use radionuclides, which decay spontaneously and give us the beam of gamma rays. This type of installations is very good from the viewpoint that they're absolutely autonomous. Radionuclide is always the source of radiation, and you don't need any electricity supply, or, well, you don't have to pay electricity bills. Other two types, electrons accelerated in special machines called accelerators, and also X-rays, which are provided by a special effect which is called the Bremsstrahlung radiation. It appears when accelerated electrons interact with special metallic targets. So these two types of facilities are also recommended and allowed for food treatments. How can such facility look like? In this slide, you can see the example of pretty new facility launched in Russia 2 years ago, but you can see little in this slide. This is just some empty room, yeah? Because really a source of radiation is hidden and shielded to provide safety for staff, for people, and for other maybe commodities which don't need radiation. Actually, the scheme of irradiation facility can look like this. You can see in the center a lot of these yellow boxes, yeah? This is irradiation room itself. In the middle of it, we have a radiation source. It is invisible because just is closed by these boxes with food. Boxes are transported by a conveyor, and they go through irradiation room, catching radiation from the source. You see that we have very good shielding, yeah, very thick walls around the radiation room, and complicated system of corridors and so on to catch all scattered radiations to prevent any exposure of staff. Staff is located at special rooms far and shielded from the ionizing radiation. Interesting feature of gamma radiation facility is a requirement to keep radiation source shielded when this is in non-working position. If you can see under this hole, under this plant, there is a blue basin. Yeah, this is water pool where source of gamma radiation is stored usually, because water is very good shielding material. And actually the source can look like this. Underwater we can visualize it. These blue lights, this is a special phenomena called the Cherenkov lights, which appear when gamma rays go through water. Of course, in normal conditions in air, gamma rays are invisible. Gamma radiation facilities are very good, and historically they appeared first. But today there is a trend to develop not gamma radiation facilities, but E-beam facilities, just because when we deal with radioactive material, we have more requirements for providing safety and security of these facilities. In this next slide, you can see example of a working room at E-beam facility. This is a Tekleor facility, which is located very close to our place where I live. And here you see workers work with these bags with products. You can see, I hope, a fence between two zones. In one zone there is non-irradiated products, in other already treated products, and mine that workers can touch and work with the bags without any protection and without any concerns. Because really irradiated food is not dangerous. There is no risk of using it, touching or eating and so on. You could be also maybe surprised with the strange design of a conveyor. It is special design which helps to automatically rotate the packages of food to provide irradiation from the second side. And the source of radiation, E-beam accelerator, is behind this wall in front of you. Of course, it is shielded. Yeah, and our packs, our boxes and so on go under the beam of electrons with pretty high speed. E-beam accelerators are today the best tools for commercial applications because they are cheap, they are very effective, they are very powerful. Very usual question which many people ask when they hear about food radiation, this is safety of food after this process. And the first question is like this: can it be that food is now radioactive? Of course, answer is no. In this process, we apply external radiation of food, and radiations of different types just go through these food products, kills bacteria and parasites and so on, and disappears. Of course, these food products are not radioactive. You shall distinguish firmly irradiated food and contaminated food, radioactive food, which could be obtained if your plants, for example, are grown in territories with radioactively contaminated soils. This is absolutely another situation. At food radiation, we don't have these problems. There is one limitation for this concern. Just at very high doses, very high intensities of radiation, we can have induced radioactivity. But this is a rather theoretical issue because for the sources which are eligible for food radiation, I mentioned about them gamma sources and E-beam accelerators, we don't have such intensities and such doses because we have firm limitations. Another concerns about safety of food could be toxicological safety. The matter is like, when ionizing radiation interacts with some matter, some molecules could be destroyed, and the question is, can be that final products are some toxic products, some toxic substances? This question was studied very intensively by international laboratories within international projects. And finally, the conclusion of authorized international organizations like Food and Agriculture Organization, IAEA, World Health Organization, you see in the slide, at this limitation, doses lower than 10 kilograms are absolutely safe. And let me say that actually in applications we use much smaller doses, about maybe dozens or hundreds maximum of grays, not thousands of grays. And very close question is the loss of nutritional value. So the idea of question is the same. Could it be that after interaction of ionizing radiation with matter, some nutritive elements fall down, fall apart, and destroyed by this radiation? And the question is the answer is very similar to previous. After very wide studies, we found that our limitation of 10 kilograms is absolutely safe. In this case, our food is absolutely safe, and nutritive value is not changed. And here also I would like to mention that ionizing treatment of food is so-called cold process. I mean that increase in temperature at this application is very low, just 1 or 2 degrees of centigrade. Means that when we cook our food in usual way, frying at pans at 300 degrees of centigrade or boiling at 100 degrees of centigrade, of course, our losses of vitamins and other nutritive elements are much higher. So, mostly I described food radiation process, but there are other applications which also improve food safety and quality. So among them, you see there is a sprouting delay. The problem is obvious. Many of vegetables and root crops can't be stored for a long period of time because they sprout. I think that everyone knows about this problem. And traditional technologies to overcome it includes storage of potatoes or other food products at low temperatures, which requires paying electricity bills. And this is really expensive at commercial scale. And also traditional technology is application of chemicals. And here drawbacks are obvious. Chemicals is not the best decision. We don't like to eat chemicals in our food. And it could be not as effective actually because it's difficult to treat homogeneously bulky products like piles of potato. And actually this is expensive also. Well, radiation treatment is a very good tool in this case. In comparison to chemicals, for example, we can treat all our food homogeneously because ionizing radiation can easily penetrate through matter. Like, when you do rentgenography, X-rays penetrate through body. Effect is very long because these new developing sprouts are effectively damaged by ionizing radiation. So only single application is enough. And there is no contamination of the environment by chemicals. And this is cost effective. This slide illustrates how effective is this treatment. Yeah, you can see on the left tubers of potato which were not treated by radiation, and in the first row they are kept at low temperature, 6 degrees of centigrade. This is normal condition. We know that this is quite effective, and the first group of potatoes look quite well. When we apply irradiation, they look even better, no signs of sprouting. In the bottom line, you can see how it looks when potatoes are stored at room temperature of 20 degrees of centigrade. Of course, you see these pictures are taken in 5 months of storage. And of course, this potato in the left bottom corner is not edible, yeah, but treated with radiation looks very good. And studies show that not only shelf life is prolonged, but also nutritive value of these products are kept at a very high level. Another problem with the quality of food is insects. Yeah, insects, pests do a lot of harm to agricultural production and to harvested products. And especially in dry products, in powder-like products like grains, cereals, flour, or dry fruits, we can find these insects. I'm sure that you have met it in your life. We all deal with these problems. And very often it is quite ineffective or impossible to apply traditional methods. I will repeat that traditional is, first of all, chemicals. Radiation treatment has a lot of advantages in comparison to chemicals. Insects can't adapt, can't develop tolerance to these chemicals. So we can apply such doses which will kill all insects absolutely. Well, again, no minuses of chemical treatments, and this is cost-effective procedure. And another aspect of pest control is biosecurity. As I mentioned, yeah, there is a threat of invasion of new territories with undesirable pests when we transport vegetable and fruits to new territories if they are contaminated with insects. If you can see in the slide, this truck transporting some orange and some caterpillars, light green, jump from the truck on the trees. Of course, it can lead to very wide harm to new environments, wild environments and agricultural fields. Well, so-called quarantine treatments, post-harvest treatments, are also recommended with ionizing radiation, especially for international trades, for exported fruit and vegetable products. And the last application which I'd like to explain in my lesson is a verification of food origin with the help of nuclear technologies. This is, well, quite sophisticated, I would say, but I hope that I can explain in simple words. You know, any product contains some specific substances, some molecules, and actually even simple molecules, for example, water, consist of several chemical elements. And in the wild nature, usually there are several isotopes of every element. For example, for hydrogen in water molecule, we have 3 isotopes, which are shown here. They differ in their physical and nuclear property. And the matter is that at every place in the world, ratio of these isotopes in natural components could be different, especially when you consider several elements, not only hydrogen, but also oxygen, for example, for water, or many other chemical elements which can appear in food products. And nuclear technologies allow us distinguishing these isotopes like they can see like different colors of different isotopes, and they can find very accurate ratio of these isotopes. These ratios are called isotopic fingerprints. And distinguishing these fingerprints, we can understand what is the origin of product which we have on our table. Is it real, or maybe this is fraud food? Then you see an example here, with this tea tree honey. This is kind of very expensive product, luxury product, but for customer it can look the same, and you need very specific analysis to distinguish real and fraud products. In this case, they apply neutron activation analysis. This is special technology for read isotopic fingerprints. And there are many other examples for luxury products surveys. Some are shown here, and very expensive rice, coffee, or truffles. And also the same technologies are used for ordinary products, just to understand their origin, quality, and authenticity. In my lesson today, I discussed application of radiation and nuclear technologies to provide food safety and quality, and I talked about food radiation and also discussed the radiation facilities and concerns about safety of radiated food. Also, applications of radiation for sprouting delay and pest control to improve shelf life of products and biosecurity concerns, and also examples of nuclear technologies application for verification of food origins. Hope you found it interesting. And we have actually a lot of other interesting ideas and applications of these technologies for improving food safety.